Good, everybody. All right. Shantae is having some technical difficulties, so we'll just wait for her to get on in. All right. Okie dokie. All right. Shantae's here.
Crazy. Craziness.
What up, dog?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was craziness to even. But I'm happy we're here. I'm happy. I'm happy I'm here.
All right. Here we go. I'm just making sure that it's going through Instagram too, because you got to keep this joint open.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Danny said, y'all did it.
Good.
Try it, Danny.
It's DA. Remember, you don't have, listen.
I'm gonna be trolled. I'm so sorry. DA. You know what? It's all right, man.
It's all good. It's all good.
So good. Yeah, we got it done, man. Yeah, your little instruction video was pretty fire. Okay.
You
Pretty
said
fire.
what?
Danny DA's instruction video was pretty fire, so
Oh, got it. I got it.
I got it down pat. Okay.
I feel like my Wi-Fi may be lagging.
It's a little janky.
Right now, it's a little janky. It's a lot going on.
It's all right. It's all right. Y'all, we finally got this streaming on IG, so bear with
Yes. Hold
us.
on, y'all.
Just trying to make sure we get this right.
Give me 1 second, Britt. Let me try to move this.
All right. All right. Championship Sunday. Let me go to the. It's hard pulling up my notes and then looking at this at the same time. So I'm gonna put my notes on my phone.
It's a little crazy.
Yeah, it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much.
Hold on, Britt.
All right, but welcome y'all. I'm gonna get it started while Shantae gets back. But welcome to the 21 Titles Weekly Recap. This is episode 63. I'm Wellness Brit. As y'all know, that is Shantae, or AKA Tay Gets It Done. She's an attorney. I'm a professional chef. We were both former collegiate athletes. And we like to talk hoops, but also business sports. This weekly recap, we talking all the things, okay? NIL, obviously it's Natty Sunday. We're going to talk about the Final Four. We're going to talk about the transfer portal. We're going to talk about might delete this later. So got a lot of things to discuss. Okay. Um. So come on, let's get to it.
So nothing wants to work. Wonderful. All right. So yes, let's kick it off. So I mean, we didn't have an opportunity to really deep dive into the final four. Can you hear me, Britt?
I can.
Okay, cool. And so I think it'll be cool to kind of backtrack a little bit with South Carolina beating North Carolina State, NC State,
Facts.
and they beat them 78-59. Yo, the guard play, that I feel like that's something that we've been talking about for some time in regards to NC State's guard play. But unfortunately, Sanaya Rivers just did not show up at all for that game, which was tough because, as we know, Sanaya Rivers, she used to play for South Carolina. So this was going to be an interesting matchup for her. However,
Right.
she just couldn't deliver that day. She shot 2 for 11 from the field. She ended up with 5 points in 33 minutes. Um, Isaiah James, though, I mean, we've talked about her quite a few too. She had an amazing run in the tournament. Um,
Sure
she,
did.
yeah, you want to talk a little bit about her?
Yeah, I mean, she ended the game with, 20 points. But the from the field, she was only 6 for 17. But like you said, she had an incredible run during the tournament. I think every game, leading up to this game, she increased her points per game, essentially. Scoring 20 or averaging 20 points in the NCAA tournament is no small feat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then again, we learned about the story of her playing for her brother. Unfortunately, he passed away due to gun violence, and we learned about that story. Um, but she's playing for a bigger reason, you
Right.
know, and it showed on the court during the tourney. So we were happy to see her, display her talent and get the platform that she was getting. And excited to see that she's only a junior. She'll be coming back next year. So I know she's gonna put in work in this off season, and just excited to see this NC State team come back next year. Zoe Brooks, she was 4 for 11. Ended the game with 12 points. Played 24 minutes coming off the bench. She's been solid for them all year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I think you said it earlier. Like, what has been in the water for this class of freshmen this year? They have been really incredible, and I think Zoe Brooks also goes in that category of freshmen who really um, were impactful this year
Absolutely.
right away. Um, and you've heard the talk on all newsrooms how there's an adjustment curve. There's a transition phase that happens, when you go from, the professionals, from the college to professionals, or you just go up another level. And it's been wonderful to watch these freshmen just transition well, essentially. So NC State could not obviously slay the dragon. It's a tall task, but very excited to see this team next year. They went from unranked to the Final Four, so
Cinderella, Cinderella of the tournament
that's
for
a
sure.
beautiful Cinderella. Facts.
Yeah. Um, and so yeah, then we had Iowa versus UConn. Uh, and
Woo.
Iowa's Final Four versus UConn. It drew 14.2 million viewers for most watched ESPN basketball game ever. I'm excited. I mean, those numbers are crazy.
Fire.
Those are crazy numbers. Obviously, it was a huge jump from last year.
Right.
Very excited to see the viewership numbers for today because I know they was out of control. But
Sky high.
facts. So Iowa beat UConn 71-69. Um, before we get into that last questionable call at the end, we just wanted to talk a little bit about just the details of that game. You know, Paige Becker's, it was the Paige versus Caitlin show, right? Everybody was looking forward to that matchup. Paige ended up with 17 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 assists. Aaliyah Edwards also came up big, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 1 block, 3 assists. But Hannah Stuckey, listen, um, even offline, Brittany and I have had these conversations plenty of times, but Hannah's improvement from last year, I don't even know what to say. Just amazing leaps and bounds that she has made um,
Right.
throughout the course of this year in comparison to last year. And I'm very excited to see what she does next year. But nonetheless, for this game against UConn, she had 23 points, 3 rebounds. This was a much better matchup for her in comparison to her matching up against Angel Reese the game before. Um, but she kept up with Aaliyah throughout the
Mm-hmm.
entire game. It was a great matchup. Um, Nika Mule. You want to talk about Nika Mule being Secretary of Defense?
They put that on the Wikipedia page. Yo,
Yeah.
Nika Mule, UConn basically showed us what we needed to do to kind of contain Caitlin Clark, right? She was doing an excellent job in the first half, just staying on Caitlin. Like, what does my dad say? Like a cheap suit. She was on her like a cheap suit.
Yes, that sounds like Mr. Ray.
Essentially. So she did a phenomenal job just playing defense. And I think we seen what the schemes were, right? Throw different things at her. Because seeing the same person every time is not, it's doing nothing for Caitlin. Like, she needs multiple defenders on her, multiple styles. I mean, this is going to go into, obviously, when we talk about the national championship today and how
Mm-hmm.
like Dawn just kept sending different defenders on her, and that's, I think, what you need to do. But
Mm-hmm.
Mew was locking up.
No, she was. She made it very difficult for Caitlin. Caitlin only had 6 points in the first half. I ain't never seen her perform that way. I don't think I have seen her perform that way within the last few years. So
Yeah.
that was a shocker. But she still ended up with 21 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. I think that come the second half, that come the second half, UConn kind of steered away from what was working for them the first half, which was their defense. They came out very intense on defense. Um, but yeah, they kind of just stopped. They stopped putting effort towards what was working for them the first half, and Caitlin started getting off. I will say that she had some turnovers in that game. I mean,
Right.
she's been kind of loud. She was lousy with the basketball on a few possessions. She ended up with 4 turnovers for the game. Um, I will say that I thought that a few of her decisions down the line was kind of questionable. Um, specifically when there was less than 30 seconds left. She threw it to Hannah Stuckey, I think, in the key. And Hannah turned it over. I think that was the second turnover by Hannah. But, coming, down the line, and I said this offline, like, I wasn't expecting Caitlin to really pass the rock. You know what I'm saying? Game on the line, I'm expecting you to have the ball in your hands, to be quite honest. So I was very shocked with those two turnovers by Caitlin towards the end of that game. Um, and then of course we had the whole questionable. Oh, I also want to give a shout out to Kate Martin before then, because Kate Martin has been shown. Well, she showed up big today for Iowa, but throughout the entire tournament, and to be quite honest, throughout the entire season, she showed up. She has showed up um, for her team in Iowa. So it's really just been mainly those three: Caitlin Clark, Kate Martin, and then Hannah Stokey. Kate Martin ended up with 11 points and 8 rebounds. So let's just talk about the questionable call towards the end of the game or
Right.
at the end of the game. You know, um, was it an offensive foul, Brittany?
Yes. Yes, it was. Like, initial reaction, I'm gonna be like, "Oh my goodness, why did they they called an offensive?" But when you go back and look at the replay slow down, it is offensive. It's a moving screen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know what I'm gonna say? Because I had this conversation with my dad offline. Uh, and like all players know, all basketball players know, the game never comes down to that one play, right? Like it's always plays throughout the course of the game that you could have done better that leads up to you ultimately winning or losing the game, right? Essentially, us
Mm-hmm.
basketball players understand that. But if you understand basketball, then you'll understand why I'ma have to flame Paige for a little bit.
Do
For
your thing.
right. So Paige took all the accountability
She
at
did.
the end of the game, like she's supposed to, like the superstar she is. And I think where she went wrong in that play, when me and my father discussed, is her not coming off that screen shoulder to shoulder.
Right.
She set up Aaliyah Edwards for the kill.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't set that up, and Shantae knows this because Shantae was a forward. If the guard doesn't set this up correctly, I'm not going to have the capacity to screen well for you.
Correct.
So I think for that play, Paige should have came off Aaliyah Edwards' shoulder a little tighter,
For
and
sure.
we wouldn't have had Gabby Marshall doing all the accentuation and flopping and
And Aaliyah wouldn't have felt the need to shift
right,
over so that she got closer to
right,
Paige.
right,
So
right,
um I think you hit it on the head.
right.
I
So
personally too think yeah, she should have came off tighter off the screen. I do think it was a foul, but me personally, I'm not calling that foul with seconds left. Um, I would have rather had seen them played out. It was very shocking to see the whistle being blown uh, with a little more than 3 seconds left to the game. So
right,
it was hard to watch, but it was a great game nonetheless. I mean, we're gonna talk about this a little bit later, but UConn's gonna be, a great team next year. Definitely should be on your watch list for next year. You know, AZ
ooh,
Fudd and the whole crew is should be returning healthy, hopefully, God willing.
yeah,
So we're gonna keep an eye out on them, and then who knows what happens with the transfer portal. And we'll talk about the transfer portal soon. Um, but yeah, that was a great game. Nonetheless, that was a wonderful game. Um, and so
fact.
yeah, that brings us to today, to the national championship. Yo, that was a good game, yo. That was a hell of a game.
It was very entertaining.
It
Very
was.
entertaining game today. I'm glad it wasn't like a, oh my God, this is a blowout. Like, oh my God. Like it didn't feel like that today. Even though they won by how much they won by, it didn't feel like that. Um Iowa kept it interesting, but I'm happy that South Carolina obviously pulled away towards the end. But great game. The viewer
Great game.
numbers. I know the view. I can't wait till the numbers come out because
No, same. So like the
lit.
first quarter, yo, Iowa came out with, and it's crazy because we've been talking
Smoke.
about their pace all season
Mm-hmm.
and just how they have done throughout the season. They do an amazing job getting out and running. They thrive off transition. Um, they don't necessarily want to play a half court game with you. That I feel like we've said that as well. Um, and that showed today. I mean, we've seen Iowa do these things, do the same thing. I mean, we'll talk. We could talk a little bit about when they played against LSU because LSU was looking winded.
Yeah.
They was looking winded, and Iowa, Iowa's in shape. Iowa likes to run, and that's what we saw in the first quarter. Um, Caitlin was doing a great job finding her teammates, running down the floor. I mean, Hannah Stokey, she's super athletic. She runs like a gazelle. She never gets tired, and that's what we also saw today. Very early on, we had Iowa hitting big shots in the beginning in transition. Everything seemed to just be clicking for Iowa very early on. I think they took the lead 0-7 very early on. Then that quickly went to 0-10. Um, but then South Carolina, I think Dawn called the timeout. Dawn, had to get them together. Had to get them together. She said what she said. They came back out and they started to throw punches as well. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, the basketball is a game of runs, and we seen Iowa come out with the first punch, like you said, guns a blazing, and then South Carolina basically had to settle in,
Mm-hmm.
essentially. It it really is just so great to see how South Carolina has grown over the season, especially the
Yeah.
freshmen. Like the freshmen, they're not freshmen anymore. Like their roles on the team, like they grew up. Like at the beginning of the the conference tournament, like that's when you really start kind of getting in your zone, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was just Malaysia Fuwili off the bench. She's like she's just a real game changer, man. Like she comes in and switches the tempo. Like she switches the pace of the game. Um, with how fast she is, with how aggressive she is on defense. Like they always talk about I forget what game it was where Dawn didn't play her for like a pivotal point in the game or like the second half or something like that. But they talk about that game or allude to that game often when they're talking about Malaysia Fuwili's growth, um, especially on the defensive end. She's definitely a two-way player. Like the girl is a firecracker. She's faster than anybody on the court. Okay. Um, Nobody's catching her. The little behind the back razzle dazzle layup that she missed, we needed that one, Malaysia. Woo! The arena would have went crazy if she made that one. Crazy, but I mean, her coming off the bench, then Tessa.
Mm-hmm.
I told you, Tessa.
Yes, and Brittany was like, Tessa gonna have a great game. I said Ashlyn Watkins. Unfortunately, Watkins was in some foul trouble today, but just as we suspected, her teammates definitely picked up the slack. But yeah, Brittany definitely was like Tessa's finna have a good game today.
For some reason, I felt it because like you just see her like that girl don't got no fear in her heart. Okay, no fear. Like she crazy when she hit the shots and she didn't even celebrate after.
Nah. You gotta get back on D. We focus.
Girl just got back on defense, and then you hear post game conference. She was like, "Yo, I just wanted to win. I just wanted to win."
Right.
And I also too, yo, Holly Rowe, you gotta chill out. You gotta chill out. You gotta chill out because she was asking Tessa some crazy questions after the game, talking about you was playing more minutes. Do you think your other teammates was jealous of you or something? She said something crazy, and I was just like, why would you ask her that question?
Because it's Holly Rowe, and she be wilding all the time, and they keep letting her come back.
Yo, somebody
like, I don't know, but
Holly, you gotta chill out. You gotta chill out. But I love to see it. I love to see everything. Hannah Stokey, great first half for her. I think she I mean, like you said, we've seen leaps and bounds for her growth from freshman to sophomore year. I think like DA says, she finna be in the polls. I feel like if she keep working. DA said AP All-American. She gonna be on the polls coming, so she gotta keep working.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to her growth.
Yeah, for sure. So
yeah,
it was a great game. I mean, yeah, first half, and then like Caitlin Clark in the first quarter, 18 points, like OD.
Yeah, she going off. I'm like, okay, if we starting off this way, I can't even wait to see how this is about to end. Like,
I thought she was going to go for a 60 ball. I was like, yo, if she's starting, but Raven was like, nah. Raven was like, no bueno, you not having no 60 ball on my watch. Raven said,
no, that's a fact. Raven and what I will say is Bree Hall, she tried. Yeah, she tried, but Caitlin Clark they had to make that switch right away and put Raven on her. But yeah, Raven, she held Caitlin Clark to 7 points when she was on her, and at the time, Caitlin Clark shot 27%, 3 for 11. So Raven definitely was on her Secretary of Defense duties tonight. She ended up with a 30 piece. She had 30 points, 8 rebounds. Again, she shot 10 for 28 from the field, which was she shot a lot. And then she shot 5 from 13 from the three. Definitely want to give a shout out to Cardoso. She ended up with the most outstanding player award. She had 15.17 rebounds, 3 blocks. Now, very early in the game, I didn't know why South Carolina wasn't feeding her the ball inside. That was problematic for me, but again, other people stepped up. Again, like you said, Tessa. Everybody honestly started stepping up come second half, so that was good to see. You already talked about Malaysia, how she just has the ability to change the tempo. Tessa ended with 19 points, 4 rebounds.
I think the 19 points was a career high for her too.
It was.
She came out and was just, and like thing too is sneaky because she has a well-rounded game. Like she gonna play defense because she understand too. Like if I don't play defense, I'm not playing.
Right, right.
So she had to get better on the defensive end, right? And then like the confidence she's shooting with. Shooting with confidence like that, that's if that's one thing I would love like to if there was anything you could package up for a student athlete, it would be confidence.
Right.
Because that's the biggest thing. You can have the skills, whatever. If it's not translating to the game and you're not confident in yourself, it's not gonna happen for you. I'm gonna be totally honest. It's not gonna happen. You have to have the supreme confidence in yourself to get the job done.
No, that's a fact.
That's what
and
she
I
got.
think Dawn plays a pivotal role in why not only Tessa but that whole team operates in confidence, and you rarely see them. I don't even think I've really seen them sweat, and I think that the ongoing story throughout the tournament was, Dawn constantly speaking about how they're so free and so loose, and like, she couldn't understand it, right? Like they're always goofing and they always not serious, but the fact that she too had the confidence, right, to let them be who they are and kind of just rock and roll, and know that they were still gonna pull it out. I think that that relationship it works. It works for them, and the confidence that Dawn has for her team, it shows on the court. And I think that Tessa and the rest of them, they come out guns a blazing all the time because of that. So just to keep talking about a little bit more about the stats, South Carolina out rebounded Iowa 51-29, which is crazy. And Dawn became the first Black coach in men's and women's D1 history to win 3 national championships. That is not to be taken lightly at all. She just been killing. She was killing as a player. Now she's killing as a coach. Like, she's just winning. She's winning at life. Like, she's winning at life.
And what's so crazy? Like, so how they do like the little trivia things on like ESPN, like during the little segments. They had a question come up. I think Elle Duncan asked the question. They were like, she asked the panel. She was like, "So, who is the only player to win Most Outstanding Player for a national championship on the losing team?" And of course, the answer was Dawn Staley.
Right.
And I'm just like, this lady is incredible. Like, just the legacy she's leaving, like, as a player, but the legacy she's leaving as a person, as a coach, is gonna far supersede anything she's done as a player. Like, the reason she started coaching essentially is because she didn't win a national championship as a player.
Right.
And she's won 3 as a coach. Like, do you see how like the universe just be playing with you? Like, nah, you ain't gonna win as a player, but as a coach, you gonna get blessed with them things, okay?
Right.
And you gonna impact a lot of lives.
Right. And she
Did
is.
you see Pow Pow? Did you see Pow Pow?
Yeah.
Yeah. She made the right choice.
No, facts. She did. She did.
Because we're going to get into the transfer portal a little later. She made the right choice.
And that's a fact.
And that is just a testament to the South Carolina culture that Dawn Staley has built. Like, that culture down there is really incredible, but she's built it brick by brick. And it's fantastic to watch. Like you see Aaliyah Boston crying. Like Aaliyah is
took the headset off. I'm running down there.
yes. I don't care if I'm getting.
I feel you.
Like
I would have too.
Yo, that was beautiful to see.
Yeah, it was absolutely. Dawn crying. Yo, I should have. Listen, my eyes got watery. They did.
I think everybody's did.
Yeah, because she deserves it. They deserve it. And, just all the hard work. And, there's a lot of people that don't want to see her thrive. I mean, we've had those conversations even offline. There's a lot of people that don't want to see her thrive. So, they that team just put the work in. I mean, they went 38-0. It's an untouchable season. Like, that's crazy. Only 4 other teams have done that, by the way. UConn has done it 6 times. Jeez. Baylor did it in 2011 to 2012. And Tennessee did it for the 1997-1998 season. And then Texas did it for the 1985 and 1986 season. All of those teams that I just mentioned, they also won the national championship while going undefeated. So she's in an elite club. I mean,
yeah,
untouchable season, perfect season. They got a dynasty. They're a dynasty.
Facts.
South Carolina's a dynasty.
Facts, and they only graduated. So let's see. They graduated 5 this year, went back to and won the Natty. They only graduated 1.
Yeah, everybody else coming back. everybody else coming back. See, I'm gonna have hell for a few more years.
Scary,
it is gonna be scary. It's gonna be very scary. Very scary.
I love it.
Not the evil laugh. So yeah, that's how that game ended up. Again, major shouts to South Carolina. I mean, even Dawn's a class act, yo.
That's a fact.
Dawn rarely says, if any time, says anything wrong, but I love the fact that she gave Caitlin Clark her flowers, essentially calling her one of the GOATs, and really thanked her for growing the game. And Caitlin Clark gets a lot of slack, yo. There's people that hate Caitlin Clark, but here's the thing. Numbers don't lie. That young woman performed throughout her entire college career. She performed. She brought more eyes to women's basketball. She's not the only one, but she's definitely one of them. And you can't deny that. So I thought that what Dawn said was amazing. I thought that it was kind of her to even say that.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. So shouts to South Carolina. I'm very sad though. I am sad that the season is over. We had listen, amazing season. Yes, and then coming off the season before, it's just like, I'm sad, but I was thoroughly entertained the entire season. Can't wait for next season. We'll definitely keep our eyes out on these up and coming people coming out the transfer portal in high school. So I guess that could lead us into the transfer portal news. There's a lot of movement. We only going to hit on a few, but Brittany's, she's been doing a really good job keeping an eye on just the numbers of D1 players in the transfer portal. I think you said, Brittany, that there's been over 1,300 or 1,500 women players.
So for the men, there are over 1,400 transfers in Division 1, and then for the women, there are 1,000 plus girls in transfer on the D1 level. I don't have the D2 numbers, but those are pretty high too. I think the last time I checked the men, it was in the 700s. So the transfer portal is jumping and bumping right now. It's popping like a cow drone a gumbo right now. It's
Oh
doing
my, yo. No,
it's
it
doing.
is. It's crazy. And I should have checked when the portal closes for basketball because every sport has a different period. But we'll circle back next week and let y'all know that. But Haley Van Lith, like we talked about Haley Van Lith all year. Um, she had a rough transition. She transferred from Louisville. She was averaging maybe about 17. I'm gonna say around 17 points per game. Came to LSU, averaged about I think 11 points a game, maybe. Um, but like Brittany and I have talked about this before, the transition wasn't an easy one. She had to play, get adjusted to being a point guard. Um, LSU has had their woes throughout the entire season. They was in the headlines damn near every month of the season, with players leaving, talks about Mulkey, um, you know, Angel Reese, whatever. Nonetheless, um, Haley Van Lith, she entered the transfer portal. Um, I don't think we know where she's heading as of yet. This will be Haley Van Lith, I think, exercising her 5th year, I believe. Um, what you think, Britt?
I mean, I feel like I was kind of shocked when I seen it. Like, oh wow, she's entering the transfer portal. Okay, but I mean, I could
Mm-hmm.
probably understand why. It wasn't the right fit for her this year. It didn't. There was no like synchronicity. Like we were not watching the Haley Van Lith of old. Like it just seemed like she was like a shell of herself, and I'm saying that respectfully because it just I don't know. It just seemed like she was limited, like she was playing limited. Like I know you're playing a different role, but you're essentially still a scorer. Like she's a scorer, bro. Like you still got to score. Like I felt like she was limited, and LSU wasn't it for her. So my mind is saying, where is she gonna go? I don't know if she wants to go back home. I feel like she's from Washington State, so maybe being closer to home can help turn some stuff around. Um, to have your family come out and support and do that all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's so I don't know. Maybe she goes back to the West Coast. I told Shantae, I said maybe Oregon State. I don't know.
I
So
don't
on the
know
West.
either because Oregon State was a wonderful team this year. Obviously, they too were in the tournament. I think Pac-12 sleeper for sure. Um, but they lost somebody big on their team as well. We got Talia Van Ohoffen that entered the transfer portal, which is crazy
I
because
was like, what?
you know Oregon State they were a close knit team. They stuck together.
Mm-hmm.
They wrote it out for a few years together, got better together to get to the point where they were at this year, which was the tournament. So to see Talia enter the transfer portal was very interesting to me. She is graduating from Oregon State, where she too will be, I believe, exercising her 5th year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm interested in knowing where she would end up. I saw a couple people saying they would love to see her in the Iowa State uniform, and I'm
Okay.
not mad at that. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I think there's a few places where she can end up, but that was very shocking to read. Especially just because of what we just talked about, how close knit the team was, how the team did
Right.
this year. The Pac-12 will be this. There is no more Pac-12 after this year. I believe Oregon State will be headed to the West Coast Conference, um, which will be interesting. But yeah, that was a shocker too. But back to Haley Van Lith, maybe she will end up back home. Um, do you think that she needs to go back to? Do you think that the next team that she goes to, she should focus on finding or getting back to what she knows, which is being an off guard?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
If she still wants to develop as a point guard, then play her as a combo guard. But I don't think she solely should be a point guard. I think she is a scorer. So getting her, having someone set her up. Because this year she was trying to do a lot of setting up other people. But she also needs to get set up too. So I think if she's the off guard,
facts.
that'll put her more in a flow. You know, she has to play. She has to
Absolutely,
play.
I agree
Yeah,
with you.
she got to play with someone that's a dog, and that's gonna get her to her spots. Cause she just got to get to her spots. Haley Van Lith is still a phenomenal player. Like, let's not get this twisted, y'all. That girl can still ball. Like, she not out here signing deals with Adidas for nothing. Like, she can play,
Right,
y'all. She just
right.
had a down season. She had a down season at a team that she didn't fit in. She didn't fit on that team. Like, if anybody fit on that team, it was Anissa Morrow. Like, she came over
Yo,
and
Lisa
fit.
Morrow, man.
It wasn't Haley Van Lith. Haley
Facts.
Van Lith. Like, I really wanted to see Angelica Velez this year. Like, play point guard. So I'm hoping I get to see her next year play some point guard. And then they
We'll
got Bella
see.
Hines coming to LSU too. She's spicy. I'm letting y'all know that girl. Woohoo! She's
Look at your
spicy.
father.
She
Look at
fit.
your father.
Dad, don't
Yo,
say that, man.
you sound like Evan.
She's not.
Evan say the same thing.
Like, she's
Evan
not
say the
though.
same
Like,
thing.
that's what
She's
I'm
not. She
saying.
just had a
She's
really
not.
bad. It
She
just
had
wasn't
a
a good
bad
fit.
season. She had a
Yeah,
bad season. If we
she has
see
a bad.
her, like, if we see her get back to the Louisville bag, y'all gonna be like, "Oh, this the one."
Right, and I
This
want y'all to
the
keep that same energy now.
right, right. Keep the same energy, okay?
Yo, your father's funny, but yeah. Then we had Georgia Amore. So like Georgia Amore, Virginia Tech. Um, we got news that Kenny Brooks was leaving Virginia Tech, heading to Kentucky. We
Right.
went live this week. While we was live, Georgia Amore, she posted on her page, her IG page, that she was going to Kentucky. Now I did some digging before that. I was like, yo, I'm going in her followers. Listen to
Oh
this.
yeah,
I was
you
like,
definitely did do this.
I'm gonna go on her followers list on IG, and I'm gonna see if she following Kentucky. And that girl was following Kentucky. Once I seen that, I was like, she's going to Kentucky.
Shante definitely did this.
I was like, she's going to Kentucky. So yeah, no, she will be heading to Kentucky for her last season, which is crazy. Kenny Brooks is a great coach, and he has a great connection with those young women over at Virginia Tech. So it made sense for them to follow him.
Yeah.
Not only is Georgia Amore going over there, but then we have Strack. Now, me personally, and I think I can speak on behalf of Brittany too. we both were introduced to Strack during the tournament. That's the beautiful thing about the tournament is you don't know who you're gonna see, how they're gonna perform. You're gonna get introduced to new players. I mean, even on the men's side, shouts to DJ, okay, DJ Burns. But like, it gives you an opportunity to like really see who's who's on these teams, and like with Kitley being out, unfortunately, due to tearing her ACL. Strack came in during the tournament and she picked up the slack and she looked really, really good. She looked great. Um, and so after that game, everybody was wondering like who she was, her story. And so to hear that she too will be following Kenny Brooks over to Kentucky is going to be dope as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he transforms that program and what players he's able to pick up potentially from the transfer portal. What do you think about that, Britt?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I started to see Kenny Brooks use Strack towards the end of the season. Like we started seeing her come in, the two tall towers with her and
Mm-hmm.
Kitley. He was trying to like get them to start playing together. And then she just had her breakout moment during the NCAA tournament when they smoked. I forget who they smoked in the first game, but they smoked that team, and she played really, really well. I actually think Strack Strack might evolve into a better player than Kitley, to be quite honest. Because she's already more physical than Kitley. Like I know I
Yeah.
call Kitley the fadeaway queen most of the time, but I mean it's true. She loves that move. I just think that on the next level with the physicality of the league, she's gonna have to develop that bump and dump kind of like culture down there because Kalani Brown, Tiara McCowan, Brittany Griner, these girls is big, okay? In the league. They big and they grown and they strong. Okay?
That they are. That they are.
So Kitley gonna have to bump. But I think Strack, she got a great upside, man. Great upside. I loved what I seen from her. And then I think once she builds her confidence and her confidence comes because you've seen her getting into it, she's gonna be a really great player. And Kenny Brooks is gonna develop her. I mean, he also has the ability to lean on Ryan Howard too here, right? She's an alumni of Kentucky.
Yes.
Um, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna figure out how to lean on her as an alum to pull in more quality players. Um, my dad was real big on Ryan Howard when she was at Kentucky. Like he was telling me to watch games. Like, have you seen this girl? I'm like, nah. Like my dad was huge on her, and then she went first round. Um, I think in 2022, first round to Atlanta Dream. So
Mm-hmm.
he got her to lean on, so that's a great thing. Um, and I'm excited to see what Kentucky does. They in the SEC now.
Yes.
He just came from the ACC, which is no slouch either. I think the ACC was like the second best conference this year behind the Pac-12,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So Kenny Brooks is coming. Kentucky coming. I want to see
It's
who
gonna be
else
crazy.
go there.
Me
So
too. Me
it's
too. We're gonna
celebration.
see. Right. And then moving on, finally, Bronny James. He played at USC. Uh, what I personally have learned this week is that these players are able to enter the transfer portal, maintain their eligibility, and then also declare for the draft. So
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting to see, but um, I mean, it's great that he's keeping his options open. I will say that. But I was shocked to read that. I was a little shocked to see that. But what you think, Brett?
I mean, yeah, I definitely was shocked. I definitely don't feel like he's had a season that garners for him to, go to the league. But I mean, if you could test the waters and go through the process and see what the process looks like, and then come back to school, I think why not? I mean, go ahead.
Right,
Ain't no fault in that. If you can maintain your eligibility, then maintain your eligibility. But go through the rigors and see what it's like, to see
right,
what you need to work on in order to get to that point. Maybe that's what he's doing this for.
right.
What do I need to work on? What do scouts want to see from me? Um, to obviously enhance my visibility and my marketability to become an NBA player.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I think that was my angle from it. And then also too, Austin is telling me you come up with the craziest conspiracy theories, but uh it's lightweight true now. I've seen a report that he may potentially transfer to Duquesne, where Drew
Yes,
Joyce is now. So
yes.
and if y'all don't know, Drew Joyce played with LeBron in high school, and he has now been appointed the head coach at Duquesne University
Mhm.
Pittsburgh, PA. So uh you might have the keys there.
He may.
Okay,
We'll have to
so
see.
Ronnie, do what you do, brother. I mean, it's his life. He is his life. Okay. What am I gonna say? No, you're not ready for the
People
draft.
was pissed.
I
People
know
was
people
pissed.
were pissed. I
I'm
know
like,
people
well,
were pissed.
damn.
But that's his life, y'all. Like, to think about it, y'all. This kid just had a life scare. To be quite honest, he just suffered from a cardiac arrest episode, right?
Right.
You think that kid care about what y'all think?
No.
No. He gonna live his life.
He's gonna
His
do what he think
father
is
is
best.
a billionaire. Come on, man. Get out of here. Y'all people are crazy. Bronny gonna do what he want to do, all right? If he don't even play a minute of professional basketball, that boy is set for life, okay?
Facts.
Be happy for him, or stick your head in the dirt, okay? I don't know what to say.
I didn't know what you was about to say. But you started it off with stick your head. Yo. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, nah, that's facts. Like, let him do what he thinks is best. Um,
Facts.
I want to see what he ultimately ends up choosing. And
Yeah.
we'll keep an eye on that. And we'll circle back with y'all. And we'll talk about it. But shouts to Bronny James for doing something we never seen done before. I know I haven't. So
Yeah.
let's see what happens there.
We
Um,
gonna see.
the WNBA news, Angel Reese this week set precedents, okay? She
Sure
declared for the
did.
WNBA with Vogue. I mean, we talked about this last week. Shouts to the 9450. But I think it's important also to just hone in on the fact that we've never seen this before. Vogue
Right.
is Vogue. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Vogue has entered the realm of women's basketball. We've never seen this before.
Right.
Iconic. That's all I got. Is that it iconic? More brands are probably like high fashion brands and companies. I won't be surprised if they enter into more of the NIL realm within the next few years because of what we have seen Angel Reese do the other day.
Right.
And she looked amazing. She looked great. Loved the
Sure
little
did.
video she had. summarizing and showing her 4 years at both Maryland and at LSU. I love the video. Um, and I am looking forward to the draft. Shouts to Lauren and DA because they'll be heading to the draft this year. And it's a highly anticipated draft. You know what I mean? Everybody's excited about it. Very excited to see how Angel Reese does in the league. Um, we talked about her having to improve on some things, but just really excited to see her just go to the next level. Um, and the way that she did it was fire. Like I just said, through gold, unheard of.
Facts. Bringing like legacy brands like that into basketball is pretty fire. Uh, it's the what is it like the crossing of industries for me. I thought that her declaration video was fire. I mean, it's the marketing is getting more refined. Okay, we're seeing that. I think you said it right. The WNBA is kind of growing on the backs of the NCAA and the kids that are being marketed. So like, I want to know how the WNBA is going to continue to kind of like uplift Angel
Mm-hmm.
Reese's star power, essentially, because she got some star power now,
No, that's a
right?
fact. And I just want to say, I think that because you're right about what I said with the WNBA, but I just want to clarify that I think that individually, like the individual players, they do a good job in marketing themselves. Obviously,
Right,
these young women know how to, utilize social media and things of that nature. They got their own, endorsement deals with other companies. But I'm like Brittany just said, I'm speaking directly about like to and about the WNBA. Um, we said this past week on the 9450 pod, but like, Gino also touched on that. He said essentially the same thing that we're talking about now. Just, the WNBA has to step it up in regards to how they market these young women. I mean, we see Alicia Clark. She about to have a cooking show. Like they getting these young women or these women are getting things done outside of the WNBA, and everything that they're doing is fire. Everything that they're doing
yeah,
is
yeah,
fire, but I just think that the WNBA could be putting in a ton more effort in, yeah, like you said, just really carrying the torch and showcasing and highlighting these women, their personal lives, what they like to do outside of basketball, because you just want to keep feeding the consumer. You want the consumer to connect with these women so that they invest in these women.
right.
Um, and so, yeah, I think that the WNBA, like Brittany mentioned a couple seconds ago, has just been riding the coattail of the NCAA now for a few years, and I think it's time for them to elevate their efforts. And at this point, the pressure is on them to really perform and show out because um, just because of the viewership numbers and how they have continuously grown within the last like 5 years, like this you're gonna have to step it up. So I'm
Right.
keeping my eye on that, and I hope that they don't drop the ball with that.
I mean, yeah, like just talking about the NBA, WNBA, and kind of like stepping it up, like even with the upcoming draft this year, right? There's only 3 rounds, right? Like, there's only 3 rounds with each round consisting of 12 picks, only 36 picks. There have been 89 collegiate players that have declared for the draft. Okay? Let's put that into some context. There's 89 that have declared. There's only 36 spots. Okay? The need to expand is palpable. What are we going to do, WNBA? Are we going to extend the roster spots? Are we gonna increase? Because 144 spots is insane. That's it.
That's it right now.
Like, can we get at least 15 spots on it? That increases it to 180. All right.
I mean, you
Like,
talked about this a few days ago on the other pod. Just how the U.S. is like really late and just
yes.
coming around to appreciating women's
Slow.
basketball. And you also mentioned how well, damn, how slow are we moving because it's been what 20 some are 27 years, 27 seasons in. So it's like the talent is there, right?
Yes.
The talent is there. The want to play is there. Um, it's super competitive. So a lot of these, it just sucks that a lot of these young women that we've been watching for the past 4 or 5 years, we won't be able to watch on U.S. soil. They may be,
Right.
overseas, which Brittany talks about all the time because she's played overseas, and it's like your family's not there, you miss home.
Come on. You gotta be a different player to go overseas. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. There's a lot of stuff that you miss when you go overseas. Like all the milestones and stuff, like family events, all the things that you miss over there. Let's not talk about the barriers you gotta face, language barrier, you not being able to transportation, you not being able to drive a stick shift because that's all they got over there. You ain't getting no automatic car unless your your franchise is really good and got money. Okay. Sometimes you don't get paid on time. All right. How are you gonna deal with that? Right? You gotta learn how to communicate your needs and wants. Sometimes your agent may not communicate that for you in a timely manner, in the manner that you may want, right? So it's a lot of stuff. You really got to be mentally tough to go overseas. Okay, I don't think a lot of people talk about that either. So y'all thinking that this stuff is easy? No, it's not. It's not at all. It's taxing on their bodies too, and have to play all year. Like you
Oh, that's another thing. You just
season.
finished. And we talked about that. Like, I think it's crazy that the game ended today. The
Right.
college season ended today. Today is April
Mm-hmm.
17th. The freaking draft is April 15th. The draft is April 15th, bro.
It's a week in a week. And then I also brought this question to Twitter, like, yo, do the WNBA prospects have interviews and workouts just like the NBA prospects during the draft process? And most of the tweets told me no.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing in place for these. How? With the turnover, how? A week? A week to prepare? And then again, like, what if I did bad in the tournament? I can't even save face in like a private workout with
No.
y'all so that y'all can really see what I'm doing or know who I am. Like having these one-on-one conversations
Mm-hmm.
to get to know me as a person too. You know, you don't even have that ability. That is trash. That's trash. So they got to step up with that too. So it's just a whole lot going on. Yeah, we on y'all necks. I don't care.
I love it. So yeah, the draft April 15th, 7:30 at the Brooklyn Music Academy. This marks the first time the draft will be a seated event with fans in attendance since the 2014-2016 drafts. Were held at Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut.
Mm.
It's gonna be fire. Like
Yeah.
with the fans, it's gonna be dope. Like
facts. Again, our colleagues are pulling up.
yo,
They're pulling up.
with footage.
DA, DA, Lolo. Actually, they're about to go on after us too. So
Yeah, tap in
once
with
we're
them at
off,
8:30.
make sure y'all tap in with the 9450. Okay. Go over there to that network because we over there too. Okay.
Facts.
All
So
right. So they'll
yeah,
be at the draft, and
yeah,
hey,
it's
that's gonna be a
exciting.
great experience.
Yeah. So we'll see what the mock draft looks like. Shouts to K
Mhm.
Dot too. He's been doing a great job with the mock drafts as well.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be exciting. It's about to be exciting. Keep up with these young women. Don't stop watching women's basketball because the college season has stopped.
Look, man,
Continue to
WNBA
watch.
is coming on in May. Obviously, NBA playoffs is coming on, so y'all can take a break from women's basketball, get your little NBA on. All right, get your little NBA on. Then we going into women's basketball in the
Right.
summertime, right? Yo, I'm gonna need the new era to come out with better hats for y'all for the WNBA. Y'all gonna have to come because that WNBA draft hats I've seen,
Trash.
it's just not.
Mid.
Yeah, they kind of mid to me. They kind of
Okay.
mid. They kind of mid. Like I want, you know what I want. You know what hat I want. I
Hmm.
want T. I want a T Marcus.
Oh, that'd be fire. Oh, you
T
had to
Marcus New
say
York
Marcus. Yeah.
Liberty hat. That's what I want.
Yo, that'd be dope if he actually collab with them to do that.
I want a T Marcus New York Liberty hat.
Come on, make it happen. We just put it out there. So let's make it happen. That'll be fire. The
Let's
home
get it.
team repping for the home team. I love it.
I mean, talking about brands, this rolls right into NIL. This roll right into NIL. Like, y'all don't even understand the brands that are sweeping in. Okay, I definitely enjoyed seeing how the brands capitalized over this weekend for the Final Four in March Madness. Okay,
Big time too.
big time. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
brands optimizing their spotlight on the women's basketball scene. We seen it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if y'all haven't seen, I don't know if y'all seen these videos going around, but I definitely enjoy seeing WNBA players kind of gift
Yes.
sneakers to the winning teams. And specifically what I'm talking about, we had a chance to see Sabrina Ionesco gift the Iowa women's basketball team some Sabrina ones during the Final Four. And then on the other side, we seen Erica Wheeler as a part of the Adidas squad and
Mm-hmm.
Adidas team gift North Carolina State some sneakers and gear and all that good stuff. That kind of reminded me of when we pulled up to the Final Four and they had an entire hotel room just of stuff for us. Like I can imagine
Oh, I
what
can't
it
even
looks.
imagine what it looks like now. I can't. I
It's
just saw Angel
probably
Reese's IG story literally the other day, with her putting all her sneakers. She was cleaning out her locker,
right.
in the locker room, and she had a bag full of sneakers. She was like, "These are going on sale or going to be given away soon," because that's just all. Like again, just speaks to the amount of stuff that they're giving, not throughout the season and then during the tournament. So I
Yeah.
can't even imagine. Y'all had a room. I don't know what. I don't know. I can't even imagine what they're getting now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they done stepped it up 20-fold, okay? Because back then you walked in, it was just Rutgers paraphernalia everywhere, and then you had a bag with your name on it with all your stuff in there. So merch galore, tags, everything, sneakers,
Hmm.
sweatsuits, all of that. So I can only imagine what they getting now, okay? Crazy, but I love to see that. I think Adidas is doing a phenomenal job promoting Erica Wheeler. Like the
Hmm.
marketing and promoting, just like you said, I think this goes right into line with you saying how the WNBA players are taking it amongst themselves in their hand and doing their own personal branding. they're doing a phenomenal job with that, and I think I've seen that. Now I don't think I know. I've definitely seen that with Erica Wheeler and Adidas. Like, girl done had billboards in Miami where she from, which is fire,
Right.
right?
Right. Super fire. Super
Billboards in
tight.
Miami, obviously billboards in Indiana. She's always doing events, and like just look at the other list of women basketball players under Adidas umbrella, like Kalia Kappa, obviously, Sophia Cunningham, Chelsea Gray, Benijah Laney, Angel McCautry, Nneka Ogwumike, Shanae Ogwumike, Haley Van Lith is also a part of
Mm-hmm.
Adidas. So the brands, they know what
And
they
then what
do.
they're doing in high school, like they're touching
Right, right,
multiple markets. So yeah, they're one of like the first to kind of make their way into the space, and they're not leaving here no time soon. So yeah, they've been doing an amazing job marketing these young women, and then just getting these young women under their umbrella to market their products. So shouts to Adidas
yeah. Shout out to
and
Adidas.
Sabrina.
Sabrina, shout out to Erica Wheeler, shout out to the brands getting it done. The more brands we see trying to get they market share in here, it's gonna grow women's basketball more. Okay,
Hmm. Absolutely.
and talking about that, like food brands, we're seeing food brands enter into the realm. Like, did y'all know Chipotle was named the title sponsor of the high school basketball nationals?
No, until a few days ago.
Right, I didn't know that.
Because
Did
all
you?
we and the reason why, I don't mean to cut you off, Brittany, but like, Brittany actually it was like, yo, we only know about the McDonald's All American. And shouts to those young women and men that was McDonald's All Americans they played the other day. Nonetheless, Brittany's like, yo, I don't know no other food chain out here that's out here with their own tournament.
Right,
And then here comes Chipotle. And
Chipotle.
I didn't
Wow.
know about that.
Right. So I actually got a chance to watch some of these games this weekend. The Chipotle National. So this was from April 4th to the 6th, essentially. All games were across ESPN platforms, okay? The boys and the girls. And this was the 15th annual year of this tournament, which basically features the best high school basketball teams in the country. So like the best girls and boys basketball teams. So like I got a chance to watch Sarah Strong compete. She did not make it to the chip, but the game I watched her play, she had like 30 and 19. Okay, right? Sarah Strong just committed to UConn. UConn needed that commit after that game
Yes.
on Saturday. Okay, they needed that. All right. So got a chance to see Sarah Strong play. Mount Verde Academy, they actually wound up winning the entire thing. They got some players on that team, okay?
All the time, bro.
They got some players on that team. The point guard Jelani Cambridge, I believe she's gonna be going to Ohio State. They got a left-handed shooter on the team. I believe she committed to Tennessee. But you know that probably could change because Kelly Hopper no more longer there,
Correct.
so we don't know if she's gonna, continue to honor that commitment or whatever. But Chipotle Basketball Nationals, it was dope to watch and see like the food brands also kind of infiltrating. Like we also learned that Newman's Owns was a partner of the Coastal Athletic Association. This year, they sponsored the 2024 CAA Women's Basketball Championship.
Mm,
So, food brands, they
they here.
they get it. They here. They like what else? What else?
Yo,
Okay.
listen. NIL ain't going nowhere no time soon.
Look, I feel like we gonna see like a Subway Classic soon.
which maybe
Because
already. See. I don't
it
know.
might exist
It
already.
might. It may exist. Like I'm not in the know, in the loop when it comes to like food chains and the part they play in this whole scheme. Um, but it's
Fact.
fire. I do hope more brands, more food brands, do enter into this space. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's fire. I really didn't know Chipotle had this at all till you brought this to my attention.
No idea. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
We also watched the women's basketball All-Star game this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, I know they usually have most of the top basketball prospects that obviously don't make the tournament. Don't make it to the final weekend in the tournament. So we had ladies like Deasia Fair there. We seen she went to Syracuse. Abby Sue,
Yes.
Sarah Scalia from
Yes.
Indiana. It was a lot of great players on the floor. The what's her name? Edwards from Baylor that we seen
Mhm.
at Baylor. She was playing. There's a lot of great players on the floor. So
I was
very
happy to see them.
it was great to see that the women were
Mhm.
getting their recognition. And I like that. Like they did a 3-point contest, I believe. I'm not sure who won, but that's exciting. That's exciting. Okay. So
No, it was fire.
shout out to them for doing the women's basketball all-star game. I'm looking forward to that every year. So keep that going, essentially.
Did you want to talk a little bit about Kelsey Plum?
Yeah, so this is why we need more stories being told because we didn't even know that during this time. Also, Kelsey Plum runs a 3-day camp for like 12 of the top prospects in the nation, and essentially it's a camp to help them transition from being collegiate athletes to being professional athletes, which I think is a great way to kind of bridge the gap. You have to show young college students how to become professionals or how to be professionals. It's a certain way that you move, and it's a certain way that you hold yourself when you're a professional athlete. So happy to see that Kelsey Plum was doing that. This was the second year she's done it, and I hope we learn more of this over time and get
Yeah.
better coverage of it.
Yeah, and
Essentially,
they need it. I mean, we just talked about the very quick and speedy transition or lack
yeah,
thereof from college into professional. So this is
yeah,
definitely needed, and yeah, I agree. This needs to be highlighted a lot more, so that we can give spotlight to this. This is important. So
facts.
moving on, man. NC State men lost last night to Purdue. Can't recall the score. I know that it was double digits for sure. I
Yeah,
think it was around 18, 17, 18 points that they lost to Purdue last night. Brittany knows I don't like Purdue, but Purdue is heading to the national championship against UConn. That should be a really good game. They play tomorrow, I believe tomorrow evening. But nonetheless, DJ Burns. We talked about DJ Burns before, but again, this is why the tournament is just it's amazing for so many different reasons. But again, like being able to tell your story and then you doing the work on the floor, and then coupled with just the ability to make money now because of NIL, the
right.
opportunities for these players are endless. And so that's what's been happening for DJ Burns. Like DJ Burns has been getting the media attention that he deserves for damn near a month or two now. And he's been or more. And he's been able to capitalize off of this. Um, you know, during the season or during the tournament, he was averaging about 15 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3.7 assists. Um, and now his estimated earnings for NIL are around more than $1 million, right? Um, and to make things better, obviously they got to the NC State got to the tournament. They wasn't supposed to be there. They were also the Cinderella of the tournament. They too, I don't believe they were ranked. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Um, they won their conference championship. They weren't supposed to do that either. Um, but yeah, since being here, he's gotten a ton of media attention. He's been killing on the court, and I just wanted to highlight that and highlight the fact that he has several NIL deals on top of him having and owning several vending machines. He's a
Right.
vending machine owner. He
Okay.
has different vending machines, and he's had these vending machines for quite some time while he was playing in college, and he's been able to cash out on those without obviously having to do any physical labor, which is fire. But his NI deals consist of TurboTax, Manscaped, Adidas, Raising Canes, Daps, Brittany, Dapper Labs, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, he dropped. He had collectibles. Um, Barstool Athlete 76 gas stations and Pack of Wolves, which is the NC collective that they have. So just wanted to give a shout to DJ Burns because I mean we've been talking about this all year, but like these young players understand they're business minded. They out here trying to get to the bag, and he's just been able to capitalize off of his performance in more ways than one. And I'm just happy to see it. So wanted to give a shout to DJ Burns.
DJ Burns, you getting your flowers. I ain't
Yo,
got nothing else to add, brother. You did what you had to do, brother. You was he was the hot spot in the tournament this year.
facts.
He caught on and he rode
And
the
stayed
wave.
on. Yeah, and that's what you do. Like every year somebody new. And that's the cool thing. Like you
Facts.
learn about you don't know who's gonna show up. And he was one of them ones to show up this year. So and finally in NIL news, listen, we talked about this over on the 9450 this week about the
Yeah.
unit system. If you don't know about the unit system for men's basketball, there's something that's called the unit system that's in place for them where um these teams, the further you go in the tournament, the more money your team can make to bring back to their institutions and furthermore to their conferences. And so we covered it this week. Obviously we had Connecticut, we had Purdue, we had Alabama, and then NC State men that all made it to the Final Four. So they were given X amount of units for making it thus far. Each unit is worth a little bit under $2 million, which is crazy. But it is important to note that there is currently no unit system for the women's side. Again, there's currently no unit system for the women's side, which means that when these teams, obviously we had the national championship today, so South Carolina and Iowa, they're not getting any money for making it to the national championship. Um, we
Wow.
also talked about how important this unit system is because of HBCUs. We talk about HBCUs, how some or most HBCUs need the resources. You know, had there been a unit system in place, Jackson State that just went to the tournament this year, they could have left with some money. We talked about Cheney State years ago, decades ago, that made it, to the first national championship of the NCAA. They could have left with some money, right?
Right.
And when I say they, I'm talking about the school. And what made us happy today is we heard that Charlie Baker, the president of the NCAA currently, said that there will be a unit system in the 2024-2025 season.
Fine.
Finally,
Okay.
finally. It's crazy that we had to show the numbers because this is a numbers game. We talk about this all the time. Everything's a numbers game. For the past several years. I mean, beyond that, we've been had the numbers. They just decided to ignore those numbers up until recent. But at this point, there's no denying that a unit system should be implemented for the women. Um, It's been a long time coming. To be quite honest, it's not fair it took this long. But I'm a hope Charlie Baker to it. I hope that they really see this through for next year, so that
Right.
these universities could can make money. Now, what I will say, and what we said on the pod the other day, the unit system doesn't allow for money to go to the student athlete, right? There's no revenue sharing at these universities, which is why we have the situation at Dartmouth with the men's team.
Right.
Um, the NCAA model needs to change. We're expecting to see a model change soon, because there's a lot of litigation happening around that, and a lot of talks happening and conversations happening around that. Um, which is why NIL is so important, because these student athletes still have the opportunity to make money, even though the pot that the universities get is not shared with them. Um, so yeah, just wanted to let y'all know where we're at with that. And shouts to Charlie Baker. Hopefully they make that happen within the next year.
I ain't got nothing else to say.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right. Well, we're moving on to tech news. Thank y'all for tapping in with us for this long. We really appreciate this. So yeah, let's get to tech news. Doodles and Pharrell Williams teases special project featuring Lil Wayne and Coi Leray. All right, Doodles. This is gonna okay. So Doodles is a part of just blockchain technology, y'all. It's all it's a part of blockchain. Um,
It's a
I personally
collective.
have yeah, I personally didn't invest in Doodles. I know a few people have on our timeline. Not because it was whack, I just didn't do it. Why you laughing? Yeah.
I don't even know why I'm laughing.
This is what I did want to tell the audience. Brittany's been wilding since her birthday. Just everything. She's
Yeah.
been,
No, I haven't.
yes, you have. But anyway, Doodles is a collectible, and it can be purchased on the blockchain. And so, long story less long, Doodles and Pharrell are collabing. Um, they're creating an animated experience, um, and he's bringing on artists such as Lil Wayne and Coi Leray and other artists that will be featured on tracks that will be a part of this animated, like for a cinematic experience. And beyond music and animation, the overarching campaign, referred to as Project Gray, will take the shape of a transmedia activation, incorporating live events, partnerships, exclusive merchandise, and digital collecting experiences. So it will begin to roll out in early summer and culminate with a tentpole moment at the Toronto International Film Festival, which is fire, where the film will premiere, followed by a global release. So, again, you know, a few, well, it's not a few, it's more than a few episodes ago, Brittany and I were just talking about blockchain technology and how you can merge like the digital and real life like experiences into one. And this is essentially what Pharrell is doing and is about to do through this film. The fact that it may be shown or is going to be shown at the Toronto International Film Festival is crazy and it sounds fire. Um, and I'm interested in seeing him merge the tech space and the music space and probably the fashion space because you know now he's doing work with Louis Vuitton. So um, just
Yeah.
excited to see what he does with Doodles.
Yeah, I mean, next to Board A Yacht Club, Doodles, and I believe Pudgy Penguins are probably the only things
But
that's probably
I forgot about Fudgy Pig.
left they are the only things left really still kind of thriving in the NFT space, if you want to say, or
Mm-hmm.
the mainstream NFT space, because there have been other people who have thrived that people don't know, essentially. But yeah, Doodles is they coming from the blockchain and making it animated. So what
We'll
can I
keep an
say?
eye. We'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, to wrap things up, we have culture news, which is film, fashion, music, and business. J. Cole responds to Kendrick Lamar. I mean, Kendrick Lamar went off on "We Don't Trust You" with Future and Metro Boomin. It was a fire track. I'm not gonna get into it because I could stay for a long time talk about music, y'all. I really can. I will deep dive. But long story less long, it was a fire track. J. Cole responded and dropped Might Delete Later. The album was cool. The album was cool. He got some heat on there, but I wasn't expecting the response to be on there. So the response was cool. 7 minute drill. Um, I'm gonna give the first round to Kendrick though. Sorry, I'm giving the first round to Kendrick. Looking forward to seeing what the other rounds look like. I'm very excited, even though I don't sound like it because I know we've been on here for long. And again, I could be very wordy when it comes to breaking down some music, y'all. So what I will say is that I am very excited for this rap battle to continue. But I got Kendrick Lamar winning the first round.
Okay. Um, I gotta really take a deep dive and listen to the mixtape because I haven't listened to it, but um, you know how I feel about K Dot. Him coming at To Pimp a Butterfly, that touched the chord, struck a chord. Okay, because that's like one of my favorite.
Nah, it's a good album. A lot of
Um,
people didn't like it though. I think it's
I
it's
know
an
a lot of
acquired
people didn't
taste.
like it because they whatever. I'm not even gonna say nothing
It's an
because
acquired taste. It's an
it is.
acquired taste.
It is.
I'm excited. They're both giants. We ain't hear real rap in a very long time. I think they're still playing very nice, too nice with one another, if I'm being quite honest. We're both used to hearing people try to take their heads off, Brittany and I. From the blocks to everybody trying to take their heads off, each other's heads off. So looking forward to the next few rounds. But yeah, I got K Dot winning the first round. Bryson Tiller dropped a new album. The album is fire. Go check it out.
Mm,
And
okay.
then yeah, he's been on a little bit of a hiatus, but he's back sounding like his old self. I really appreciate the sound of the album, and it's fire. So go check it out. And then Big Sean, Big Sean been getting stepped on for the past few weeks, yo. He he released a single. Nobody even went to really go listen to it because of the beef with Drake, Future, Metro, Kendrick, J. Cole. And every week he keeps getting stepped on, yo. Uh,
Right.
and his announcement about his book was also stepped on, but I think it's important to highlight. He's gonna be dropping a book called Go Higher: 5 Practices for Purpose, Success, and Inner Peace. He's very big on wellness, and
Mm,
this is essentially what it's going to be about. It's described as an interactive guidebook on maintaining daily mental wellness, um, and focuses on his philosophy for self work and how to achieve self acceptance. So shouts to Big Sean. Didn't know you was gonna drop this book because you just keep getting stepped on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, but that's all we have for today. It's been a while since we did a recap, but because we've been busy. But first of all,
right.
you need to listen to our 9450 episodes. Listen to all the 9450 episodes for the last month. Us and our teammates over there have been doing an amazing job really breaking down the NCAA tournament every week. under the series Brackets and Buckets. You can click the link in our bio for that to get that. But follow the 9450. Follow us everywhere. Now that we know how to hook up IG to the lives and our YouTube will be on here more often again. We missed y'all, obviously. But there's so much more to unpack. But we've had you on here for quite some time, so we're gonna let you go for tonight. But we'll be back next week, and maybe throughout the week, just depending on what's going on. But make sure that you tap in with us. Follow us on YouTube, please. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube. Tell a friend
Please.
to tell a friend. We've been interviewing amazing people. We've interviewed Brittany's brother. Shouts to Candace Wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
Really had an opportunity to listen to these young people talk about their experience being in college, being in the Final Four, coaching, or just moving on in their lives. So check those out too. Those are on our YouTube, and yeah,
Follow everything.
everything.
I'm about to get another banner like DA. Follow, follow, follow
No,
everything I
facts,
created.
facts,
Okay.
facts.
But much love and appreciation, y'all. As always, this is episode 63 of the
Wow.
21 Titles Weekly Recap. We are out. Please go follow and go see our colleagues over at the 9450. They're live right now. We'll talk to y'all later.
Peace,
Peace.
y'all.